Howdy folks, I'm Stodgy Striped Hairstreak, steadfastly sanding steel stripes.
I'm Amber.
And here are more steel stripes for us to stand down. Oh no, we sand them until they disappeared. That is unfortunate. And folks, we have a live stream later on today. For more information, please see the end of the video. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for leaving my ex-boyfriend after he said that I ruined his life by gaining weight? I'm a 29-year-old female, and I've been with my boyfriend, Alex, a 32-year-old male, for almost 4 years. We met during a really rough time in my life, and I had just lost my job and moved back with my parents. He was charming, helpful, and at first made me feel like the most beautiful woman in the world. Well, fast forward to the last year or so, things started shifting. I gained about 15 to 20 pounds due to a mix of work stress and hormonal issues, which I was open about. Suddenly, Alex began making comments, at first subtle things like, "You're not wearing that, are you?" Or "Maybe we should try fasting together." When I expressed that those comments hurt me, he would say that I was being sensitive and that he was just trying to help. But the real breaking point happened a few weeks ago, when we were at a small dinner with his friends and someone made a harmless joke about couples putting on happy weight. Alex laughed and said, "Yeah, except I didn't realize that I would be dating a totally different person by 4 years. She ruined herself and kind of my life." Everyone went silent and I excused myself and I cried in the bathroom. When we got home, I told him how cruel that was, and he didn't even apologize and just said, "Well, maybe if you cared about how you used to look like, I wouldn't feel that way." That was the final straw. I packed a bag and then I left for my sister's place. Now he's blowing up my phone saying that I overreacted, that I am abandoning him when he stood by me when I was broke and jobless, and that I'm throwing away years over a single comment. My friends are split. Some say that this was a long time coming, and others think that I should have tried harder to fix things. So, am I the jerk for leaving him over this? Alright folks, what do you think?
No, absolutely not the jerk. And any friends who think you should have tried harder, I recommend leaving them in the dust.
Yeah.
What he did is inexcusable. I mean, insinuating that OP is ruined because she's put on 15 to 20 pounds, saying that she has ruined his life,
Yeah.
and doing all of this, like, in public on top of that, like, it's just, I don't even have words for how horribly cruel this is. Like, this man has been digging at OP. It's not a one-time thing. He's been digging at her for months.
Yeah.
This was just but the fact that he feels comfortable saying this in public just shows you how terrible of a partner he is.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, is like, he doesn't love OP, right? Like, you don't say something like this to your partner. And I mean, maybe sometimes people say things that they don't really mean and they come out wrong or something like that. But this wasn't one of those kinds of comments. This was very clearly directed at OP. It was a jab at her weight specifically, right?
Yeah. Well, and acting like claiming she's a totally different person because she's put on weight, that hasn't changed her personality any. Like, it's literally just a slight shift in her body.
Well, and plus 20 pounds, that's probably generally not going to be enough for even a person to see. That's like what they said, 4 years. They've been dating for 4 years. Like 5 pounds a year or something like that is not going to be something that somebody like notices or anything like that, right?
Right. Well, and like hormonal issues, like sometimes there are hormonal conditions where you put on weight and like it doesn't matter how healthy you're being.
Yeah.
Like, you can eat and exercise, eat healthy, exercise all you want, and you're still going to put on weight because that's just what your body is doing.
Yeah.
You know, and he doesn't seem concerned about her well-being at all. He just wants her to lose weight, even unhealthily, like just stop eating, to be a size that I prefer.
Yeah. And I think that's really troubling here. And like, it's one of these things where he needs to be a better partner and a better person, and he's trying to blame OP for self-preservation, right? OP isn't leaving him over a single comment, right? Like, this is a pattern of behavior that he's established, and he's been trying to slowly normalize his behavior, right? Like, he already knows that these things are hurtful, right? And if he wanted to, like, encourage them to both do healthy activities and say, well, you know, I've been wanting to do more healthy activities, would you like to join me? That would be one thing, right? But this isn't even a matter of like health or lifestyle choice. It feels like he just wants her to be like thinner or something like that.
Yeah, he wants her to be more visually appealing regardless of what it does to her.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's healthy.
Yeah.
All he's concerned, like, his goal was just to wear her down, to humiliate her so much that she would comply to his demands.
Yeah. And this was what this feels like, a way to embarrass her so much that she feels like she has to lose the weight, right? So,
But she lost even more weight. She lost, 180
how,
pounds or whatever he weighs.
yeah, whatever he weighs. So maybe she did a great job here at losing that weight. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Promiscuous Darling says, not the jerk. Been there, done that, and I got the t-shirt. Lost a boyfriend, 180 pounds of dead weight. Kept my sanity. Funny how these guys think that their lives are ruined by our bodies changing, but have no problem letting themselves go. You deserve better. I would also like to point out that. I mean, I think that this person points it out really well, but I mean, so often the guys who are saying these kinds of things aren't really a catch themselves. Like, they're just making these demands on their partner, and they aren't themselves anything to look at or any remarkable thing, right? Like, the comments were like, oh, look, everyone gains weight when they're in a couple, right? And he immediately is like, I thought she was ruining my life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is it exactly. And
Funny how these guys think that their lives are ruined by our bodies changing, but have no problem letting themselves go. And Activation Cartwheel says, not the jerk. He said that you ruined his life. Well, you're just fixing it for him. He clearly doesn't love you if 20 pounds makes him feel completely different about you. You are so much better off without him. And Far Dreaming Writer 59 says, not the jerk. Alex was cruel, insensitive, and utterly crass, especially when he said, yeah, except I didn't realize that I would be dating a totally different person by year 4. She ruined herself and kind of my life. It's bad enough that he was already being a jerk, subtly to you, in a private setting, and the fact is that when he did this in a public setting, it was far worse. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for dumping my boyfriend for saying a woman's period is just another excuse for her to reject being intimate? I'm a 27-year-old female, and I'm in an emotionally fragile state, and I just don't trust my own judgment right now. I dumped my boyfriend, a 28-year-old male of 17 months, after a shocking rant. He wanted to be intimate with me, and I told him that I was on my period. He said that we can still be intimate, and I said no. Then he launched into this weird rant. A woman's period is just another excuse for a woman to reject intimacy. Yeast infections, just gave birth, not in the mood, blah, blah, blah. But somehow a woman never offers her mouth, nor her butt, when her vagina is allegedly out of service. Then he immediately started apologizing and saying he didn't mean it. I just couldn't see him in the same way again. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
no, not the jerk. I mean, I think you are doing yourself a huge favor. I think you've had a view into what your future would be like if you had kids with him, and it is not a pleasant one.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be concerned about people's physical discomfort. Like, periods are not only messy, they are also a lot of times, you have all these hormones going on in your body that may make you feel all kinds of different things, maybe really sad. You have physical, like maybe feeling nauseated or crampy. Like, there's a lot of things that go on beyond the mess. And it seems like he is not concerned at all with the, like, physical toll, like giving birth. Like, after someone gives birth,
Yeah.
like,
The doctors recommend like not even being intimate for
for a
like
while,
months.
yeah, for a long time after, because like whether it was a cesarean or a vaginal birth, there's going to be a lot of recovery needed.
Yeah.
And so to just be like, oh, these women are being so selfish, it's like, no, it's kind of what she needs to recover.
Well, and the thing is, like, all of the things that he listed are perfectly legitimate medical reasons to not want to be intimate with someone, right? Like yeast infections, they can get worse, you know.
Right, and like you can also just feel really gross if
Yeah.
you're on treatments and stuff like that.
Yeah. Giving birth, we already talked about that one. Not in the mood is a perfectly legitimate reason not to want to be intimate with someone, right? And the fact is that he's like kind of showing his hand here, like that women to him should always be available to gratify him sexually.
They're objects for him, and they shouldn't have feelings, or if they do, they should hide them because they need to serve him.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, this is a real glimpse into their future here because he doesn't seem to respect OP. And, like, this is just the crack that is starting to show, right? And, like, what it's going to be like in 5 years when he's constantly saying these kinds of comments, right? Like if he wears you down now and is like, oh, I didn't mean it. And then next time he says, oh, I didn't really mean it. And the next time he says, oh, I didn't really mean it. At a certain point, did he really not mean it? Right? Like, how many times does he have to say this before he doesn't mean it?
Well, and like it doesn't come out of nowhere. Like it's
Yeah.
not something like that you would randomly say for oh, this misogynistic rant just popped into my head fully formed and came out of my mouth. I don't know what happened.
Like you said, this came from somewhere. And I think that the best advice OP can give him at the moment is for him to go to a therapist and work through these feelings. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Peak Penguin says, not the jerk, and I'm proud of you for dumping that guy on the spot instead of asking if it's okay to be upset about him being blatantly sexist. Go you. And OP replies, there's a part of my mind that's thinking that it was just one rant, but another part of my mind that is thinking that it's even more scary how easily he went into that rant and how quickly he switched back to being all loving and apologetic. Being a high libido woman in good health, this issue hasn't come up before. It's scary how he failed the one time that the issue has come up. Oh, well, that changes everything.
Or that makes it even worse. If like he's never had to deal with being rejected before. Like,
yeah.
There are going to be times when you are sick, when you are feeling gross, when you're just not in the mood, and like you have every right to say no.
Yeah.
But this guy is not, like, if he can't take it once, like you don't want a future with him.
Yeah, well, the fact is that, like OP said, like this was one time that she rejected him. It was like, oh, I'm not feeling up for it. And then he's like, oh, you women always make up your excuses for how to and never think about us and our men and our needs and stuff like that. And Aggressive Basil 2274 says, yikes. It was only the first time you said no to intimacy and he switched like that? Girl, it's really good that you broke up. It was only the first time that you denied being intimate with him and he went off like this with a misogynistic rant. Gross, especially the part where when women could just use their mouth or their butt. Women aren't living fleshlights for his or any man's pleasure. That's going into a salty territory. Run and don't look back. Ever. He showed you his true colors. Believe him. And OP replies, this is the first time that it's come up because we're busy and we've never had an opportunity to be intimate while I was on my period before. But I have previously communicated via video chats and messages that my periods are terrible. On one chat, I was crying and begging him to help me take my mind off my period pain. He had some prior knowledge that periods were no picnic for me. I don't even know at this point in time. Like, the fact is that OP has these severe periods and he's like, oh, but you should be pleasuring me.
Like, I don't understand how you can see your partner suffering and just be like, but why aren't you doing things for me right now?
Yeah.
Like, that's his immediate reaction, tells you everything you need to know about him.
Like, his immediate reaction should have been, is there anything I can get you? Do you want, like, a heat pack? Do you want some chocolates? Do you want me to do a crossword with you or something like that? I don't know. Like, anything to help them take their mind off of the severe pain. Not, oh, by the way, can you gratify me?
Yeah.
I mean, no. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Standing Up for My Boyfriend When He Got Kicked Out of My Art Gallery Event? I'm a 31-year-old female and I've been dating Ryan, a 27-year-old male, for 3 years. He's great, but he has a short temper and tends to cause scenes when he's upset, especially in public. I usually stay calm and I let him vent at home, but I've asked him many times not to argue in front of other people. I recently opened a small art gallery and it's been a big step in my career. Ryan showed up at a few events before, but last week during a major showcase with the local press and investors present, he stormed in and started confronting me about not replying to his texts. My phone had been off due to the event. He began raising his voice, accusing me of ignoring him and embarrassing him in front of everyone. I didn't react, I just froze because I was mortified. My business partner ended up asking him to leave, and when Ryan refused, security escorted him out. He shouted at me the whole time, demanding that I say something or stop them, but I didn't. At the end of the event, my partner told me that Ryan isn't welcome at any future shows and warned me that it could affect our business reputation. At home, Ryan was furious that I didn't defend him. I told him that he had crossed the line and risked something that I've worked hard for. He called me heartless and left to stay with a friend. So am I the jerk for not standing up for him? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. And I am deeply concerned about this relationship. It seems like he's very volatile and
Mm-hmm.
is showing very controlling tendencies. And I'm wondering if he had this big public outburst in hopes that it would sabotage OP's dream.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the fact that he's like upset that OP wasn't responding to his texts when he knew she was in a big show, like that, not responding to my text immediately, that's controlling behavior right in and of itself.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, abusers want to make their partners dependent upon them, and like
Mm-hmm.
ruining OP's dream and forcing her out of a job is could be part of his game plan.
Yeah. I mean, I get bad fuzzies about this.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing seems like a very controlling relationship, and maybe he hasn't been that controlling in the past, but it's clear that this is starting to escalate, right? Because he stormed into OP's place of work and in front of a whole lot of people
Mm-hmm.
and made some demands on OP. And I mean, I think that that really shows OP everything that they need to know at this point in time, that there might not be any way to reconcile this relationship, right? And like you pointed out, it is controlling behavior for him to expect OP to be constantly on their phone and
Mm-hmm.
answering the text and stuff like that. And like I can understand him being concerned or worried or something like that, and maybe being like, "Oh, I'm really worried that she might be all right." But this doesn't sound like a I'm concerned about her being all right as much as it's I think she's cheating on me, or I think she's going on around behind my back and stuff like that.
Right. Well, it seems like he knew exactly where she was
Yeah.
too. Like it's very common during work hours for people to have their phones away some of the time.
Yeah.
And so, he seems to have no respect for OP's work, for OP either, for
Yeah.
that matter. And so, if I were OP, I would seriously re-examine this relationship and also his volatility. Like, yeah, I know, like, it is verbal abuse, like, plain and
Oh
simple.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and abuse doesn't have to be physical to be damaging.
Exactly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Which cats are the happiest?
Oh, I would say the Garfield cats are the happiest, and the reason why is because they're constantly fed by John, the Arbuckle.
Persians.
Oh, because they're constantly purring. I get it.
And today is International Hug Your Cat Day.
So if you have a cat, make sure to go hug it. If you don't have a cat, go find a cat to hug. Maybe there's a couple of strays or your neighbor's cat.
Assuming the cats are willing to be hugged. And it's also National Creativity Day.
Oh, so be far more creative than I am. That's what's needed here. And I have Mega Mint. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Fantastic Friday, folks. I hope your Friday is off to a fantastic start. And folks, we have a live stream coming up later today, so we hope to see you then. And Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on how not to end up getting broken up with.
Don't be a controlling partner.
Yeah, don't be a controlling partner or a gross, creepy partner.
Or a gross, creepy partner.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.